I read a quote the other day that said, people die 2 times. Once when they actually die, and the second time when we stop remembering them. And I realized that this is one of the things that hurts the most when we are grieving, the lack of talking about our loved ones. Because most people feel very awkward around the topic of death, that they will rather just avoid it. And they also think that a grieving person often doesn't even want to talk about their loved one because it may be too hurtful for them. But in fact, the opposite is true. Having learned now so much about the topic of grief and listened to so many people that have been grieving before, I know that one of the worst things is that we get so little chances to tell stories about our loved one who passed away. And it does make sense because we mostly talk about things that are just going to happen in the near future or things that have recently happened. And obviously with our loved ones that have passed away, maybe even a little while ago, that is not the case. So you're not just going to sit there and go, oh, by the way, about 10 years ago, I was at dinner with my mom, who's by the way dead, and let me tell you this really funny story. Most people would probably react in a little bit of a surprise way to somebody blurting out something like that. So most grieving people don't just bring up the conversation because they don't want anybody else to feel awkward, and other people probably don't bring it up because they don't want the person to feel upset, which made me think, how could we possibly fix this problem? So I started sharing on Instagram things about my mom, just how she was, what she's been through, her dreams and her fears, all different types of things I'm going to be sharing over the next few years in order to keep her alive even when she isn't. And you may not be posting on Instagram all the time, or you may not have a channel where you feel comfortable to do something like that. So I wanted to make this video here so that you can share something about your loved one in the comments. This can be as little or as much as you want. Maybe your favorite memory together, maybe something about them that you have never told anybody. Anything that you want to share and just have not been doing it in order to not make anybody feel uncomfortable, use this video to do so. I really thought that it would be such a cool idea if we have a space where we remember those loved ones, where we think about them, where we talk about them, and hopefully one day I'm going to create a better way and a bigger way in order to do this. Maybe even seminars where really it's all about just talking about those loved ones of ours and learning from the way that they live their life, taking out all the most important lessons that they've taught us. But for now, it is this video. So please do not hesitate to write something in the comments about that person. And so if I read all those comments, and if other people who commented are going to read the other comments, then little by little, your person that is no longer on the planet is still going to have a place here. And that, I think, is just incredibly beautiful, because it is our responsibility to keep them alive, even if it's just throughout our lifetime. But I feel like we should not let them die twice. And that is what we're going to do with this video.